Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pickleball and Politics, where I combine my quest to stay out of the kitchen with my passion for politics. So I'm going to be honest with you, there's not going to be a lot of pickleball for the next 7 months. We've got too many things going on with politics. I did play this week, and the weather was a factor. And I am a firm believer that skill is not affected by the weather conditions, but having none is. So I stunk. I had terrible games. What can I say? So before you know it, they are going to be selecting a jury for the Stormy Daniels Donald Trump Hush Money trial that is starting in New York City. And I thought it'd be really interesting to go over some of the questions they will be asking these potential jurors. The trial is expected to last about 8 weeks. And President Donald Trump is expected to be in the court every day for the trial. So there were 42 questions. We're going to get to most of them. Number one was, without giving us your address, where do you live? Are you a native New Yorker? If not, where did you live before you moved to New York? What do you do for work? Are you self-employed? Are you retired? If you're retired, what did you do before you were retired? Are you married? Do you have children? What does your spouse or the person you live with do? If you have adult children, what do they do? Who do they work for? What is your education? All those sorts of basics. I have been on a jury before. These are kind of standard questions. But then it got a little bit more specific. Of course, what is your education? What do you watch? What do you read? Do you read and watch any of these? The New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, the New York Daily News, Truth Social, TikTok, USA Today, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, the Huffington Post. I was surprised to see the Huffington Post listed, to be honest with you, because I thought, who goes to the Huffington Post still? It's kind of like Drudge. I never go to Drudge anymore either. And it used to be what I went to 5 times a day, and now I never go there anymore. Do you not listen to the news at all? It also asked, do you listen to any podcasts or radio programs? And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if somebody wrote down Pickleball and Politics? Hey, anybody who's out there and you get interviewed for the jury, put down you watch and listen to Pickleball and Politics. I get a kick out of that. Do you belong to any organizations or advocacy groups? Have you been on a jury before? And if so, were they able to reach a verdict? What do you like to do in your spare time? Have you or anyone close to you committed a crime that would make you biased? Have you or anyone you know worked for any of the law enforcement agencies? Have you worked in finance? Have you worked in the legal field? Have you worked in accounting? Have you worked for Trump or anyone in the Trump organization, his children, or him? Have you ever gone to a Trump rally? Have you ever gone to an anti-Trump rally? Do you belong to any publications and lists and get newsletters on anything that is pro-Trump? Do you get any newsletters that are anti-Trump? Can you be a fair and impartial juror? Of course, that's always listed. That's nothing new. It said the defendant has written many books. Have you ever read any of them? I have. I've read a couple of Trump books. Do you believe that the former president is being treated fairly? Do you have any views of the former president that will prevent you from being a fair and impartial juror? Do you have any religious beliefs that would prohibit you from serving on the weekend if we have to stay late or work on the weekend? Is there any reason why you can't stay past 4:30? Is there anything else you want us to know? Do you have political beliefs that are already impartial against the president or for the president? Now, I know right now tonight, there are people putting out their clothes and they're like going, oh, I might get on that Trump jury. I have a summons here. I've got to get on. I'm going to 100 Center Street tomorrow in Manhattan. And what if I get put on the Donald Trump Stormy Daniels Hush Money case? Now, I know personally, if I got that summons, I'd be ecstatic. And I also know they wouldn't put me on. That is for sure. They also asked people if they were a member at all of QAnon, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, the 3%ers, or Antifa. So those are some of the questions that they asked these potential jurors. And they've got to, answer them honestly against the pains of perjury, which you don't want to do that, right? Because you might go to jail these days if you perjure yourself. That's for sure. I don't know if Donald Trump can get a fair trial in New York City. It is a very liberal, democratic town. I thought it was especially interesting if they asked people if they'd gone to Truth Social or TikTok, because that is a whole different form of information. And it was a pretty, I would say, thorough list of asking people if they've read his books, if they watched his TV shows, and all of that other stuff. It starts real soon. These are the questions. They expect it's going to take a while to seat this jury. Like I said, I would just love it if I had one of those summons in my hands right now and I had to go. The former president's expected to be there every day. He will not be on the campaign trail. I imagine he'll be doing things in the evening maybe and on the weekends, but you won't see him doing any rallies in the middle of the week. He is going to be in this courtroom. It should be interesting. There will be a cast of characters showing up. There will be Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen and, of course, Donald Trump himself. It will be interesting to see how many of his kids show up and exactly what transpires. It will not be televised. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but we'll be getting constant updates from the reporters and the news people who are inside the courtroom. So it will be interesting, and no president of the United States has ever been charged in criminally or anything else. This is the trial of the year, the decade, the century, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it plans out and what the verdict is to figure out if this was all just a waste of time or we are totally in an uncharted territory. All right, you can reach me all over the place. Leave me a comment. I comment back, and then you give me a comment and I give you another comment, and we can go on forever if you want. You can reach me on Getter and on Twitter at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on X. Oh, I just said Twitter. That's wrong. This whole Twitter X thing is messing me up. You can reach me on Instagram or on Getter at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on Twitter X at Pickle and Paul, or you can leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel, Pickleball and Politics. Leave me a message, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, tell me what you're thinking. Somebody wanted the white mic back, so to the subscriber and listener that wanted the white mic back, there you go, the white mic's back. All right, until next time, I will see you again real soon, because we're going to be covering this trial. I'm going to be talking about it a lot on Pickleball and Politics. Thanks for joining me.